So I've just got back from a 6-day enduro race in Madeira. I raced the Trans Madeira. This is my bike, the Zerode Shadow. You wouldn't be surprised how many questions I got asked about the Pinion gearbox and the Gates belt drive system. So in this video, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of how the gearbox works. I'm going to do a spec check on the bike, and we're also going to take a look at Zerode's new bike, the Shadow. So first things first, let's just do a quick spec check of my bike. This is my Zerode Shadow. Zerode's had this bike now for the last couple of years. It is an enduro race rig. I've also used it for bike park laps, big adventures, and everything in between. It's kind of like a do-it-all bike. It has roughly about 160mm travel on the back. It comes standard with 170mm travel on the front, but I've actually got a slightly bigger fork on here, at 180mm. I'm currently running a size large frame, and I'm just over 6 foot tall. Suspension wise, we've got an older style RockShox Lyric on the front and a DVO Jade shock on the back with a 550 pound spring. You know, I'm quite a big guy, I feel, so like to have the travel and the rear end just have that mid travel support when I'm riding super fast trails like the ones we raced in Madeira. So let's just talk about the suspension on the front for a second. Now, previous to this RockShox fork, I had DVO suspension. Love the suspension. I don't know what it is inside this fork. This is like an older style RockShox Lyric. The damper in this fork is something like nothing I've ever ridden. The fork is really supple. It's got a lot of mid-travel support, and then it ramps up towards the end. It's literally everything I want out of a suspension fork that gives me confidence to ride as fast as I can when I'm racing. Rear shock is the DVO Jade shock. It has high and low speed compression, rebound. Like I said, I like that quite firm. Wheels wise, we've got the reserve wheels on here, the carbon DH wheels, full 29er on Chris King hubs. Can't tell you how strong these bloody wheels are. These wheels have been going now for nearly 2 years without me even touching a single spoke. If that doesn't make you go out and buy these sets of wheels, then I don't know what will. Very, very strong, very light, and that's all I've got to say about those. We've got some Michelin rubber on there. We are running a Wild Enduro MS on the back, and we've got a DH16 on the front just for ultimate traction, grip, and predictability. I've recently just started using Michelin tires, really impressed with them. Honestly, the predictability on these tires and the soft rubber is bang on for what I'm looking for when racing bikes. Brakes, we've got those Lewis AX brakes. These are Lewis's brand new downhill e-bike brake with massive calipers and really, really powerful levers. I've never actually used a brake like this. I know there's other brands out there that are super powerful. This brake system, blowing my mind. Lewis brakes, I've been using them, as you've probably seen on this channel, for a couple of years now, and the iterations through the brakes they've developed has been really cool. These, you could argue they're on the large side of things, but again, the power is there when you need it. Let's get on to a bit more about the gearbox, the smart shift system and stuff like that, because that's probably what you guys want to know most about. In Madeira, I got asked so many times how the gearbox works. People literally scratching their head wondering, has it got one gear? Is it got a motor inside it? You know, how does it work? We have 12 gears inside this box. So because of how the bike has been designed, all the mass is where you want it, in the center of the bike at the lowest point, which is going to give us the best traction and balance when we're riding. Oh, talking traction and balance, my bike nearly fell over. I'm gonna have to get some more rocks. Watch the cow, Alex. Right, I think we've got it. There is no motor inside this box. I have the Pinion 12-speed box, so I have 12 gears, all neatly packed inside a box. So as you can see, there is no derailleurs on the back. There's nothing that can possibly smash off rocks, roots, be grabbed by heather, or anything like that, which is the last thing you want when you're riding or racing a bike. And then on the side here, we have the smart shift unit, which is the electronic part of the gearbox that allows me to shift. So you can get grip shift on these bikes, but to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of grip shift. Basically, we have normal shifting. So Pinion do offer a traditional looking shifter to shift up and down through the gears. For the Racing Trans Madeira, I actually used a brand new shifter from a company in Switzerland called Zabel, which have created this really cool shifter that you just operate with a thumb up and down. It's real small. I can't smash it off anything, and if I do crash, there's a very small chance of me breaking a shifter and not being able to shift through the gears when I'm out on a ride or in a race. Battery life, as you can see here in this little black box, this is my battery. that charges and runs the whole unit. I race Transmadeira on one battery. It will do about, I believe, 10 or 20,000 shifts off a charge. You don't need to worry about running out of battery is what I'm trying to say. Shifting wise, it's really quick, really smooth, and one of the big things that you guys might have picked up on is you can shift without pedaling. So on a normal traditional bicycle gears, to shift you have to be pedaling so the chain moves up and down the cassette. With our gearbox we can shift without pedaling or anything. So if you think when you're on a track and you're riding down a gnarly bit of downhill and you're anticipating what's coming ahead, or you're going over a jump in the air or around a corner and you know you need to grab some pedals on the other side of that, you can shift up a few gears, land and be ready to go. So I do like that. Shifting under load, you can shift under load with the gearbox. Now if I'm going full pelt and putting all my horsepowers down, all 5 of them, I do believe that the gearbox will try and shift, but the gearbox will only shift when the cranks are at a certain angle, and then it will shift. So you'll feel it trying to shift, and if it can't get into that angle it won't shift. But as I was saying, I haven't had very many problems with this happening, so it's not really something you need to be worried about, but that's how it works. We have a tensioner on the bottom here which keeps that belt super taut. That belt isn't coming off anytime soon, and believe it or not, that belt is now done over a year's worth of riding, and I changed it just to be on the safe side of things, not because it snapped or anything. These belts will supposedly do 3 or 4 times the length of a normal traditional chain before you need to change them. And the best part for me is the minimal maintenance. So when cleaning this bike, you literally wash it and then there's no oiling or degreasing of chains or anything. You literally just run it as is. You don't need to put any silicone lubricant on it. The belt just runs seamlessly. It actually runs better when there's like no dirt or lubes or anything on that chain ring or belt. Drag, I think a lot of people will be wondering, is there a lot of drag on the belt compared to a chain? And to be honest with you, I haven't experienced any drag. Now, if you put these side by side and you have a very clean chain, sprocket, brand new and stuff, I think the chain probably would marginally spin a little bit freer, just of like the materials that are used in a carbon belt and the chain rings. But to be honest with you, it's not even noticeable. It's not even worth trying to measure. I don't notice it. I've just done 250 kilometers over 6 days at Transmadeira. It didn't hold me back. Still was able to race at the speeds I could. Has the belt ever come off? The only time this belt has come off was when I raced in America the other year in thick peanut butter mud, and there was so much mud around the chainring that it just pushed the belt off. And I think it probably would have had the same effect if you were on a traditional chain and cassette. But that's the only time out of the hundreds of times I've ridden this bike that has happened. So it's not really something you need to worry about. So it's probably worth talking a little bit about Zerode's new bike they've just released called the Shadow. And I'm currently waiting to get mine. Very excited about that. If we just look at this bike side by side against the Katipo, there has been some significant improvements, I would say, in terms of aesthetics. It's something of a more modern design. It has a slightly longer wheelbase in comparative sizes, slightly slacker head angle, so it's going to be way better for going downhill, much more planted, much more stable, just like all these modern bikes are. One big thing as well, which I think is going to be a massive improvement, the seat tube angle has been steepened from, I believe, 75 on this to 78 on the Shadow, which doesn't sound like much on paper, but that 3 degrees is going to allow you to climb much better, more efficiently, with less effort. So I think that's going to be a massive improvement. Again, although the weight is in the same place, the gearbox is sat around that bottom bracket, so you're going to have the best performance in terms of stability, control, just overall traction on the bike. I really think that's the best place that a gearbox can be. And also, on this bike, I've got a Fidlock bottle. This is a 400 or 450 bottle? It's pretty small. So on big days, I have to keep filling this up or carry a bag, because that's the only size bottle that will fit on my frame with the battery. On the new Shadow bike, we have internal storage, which I'm super excited about. So we can stash stuff in that down tube for longer days, whether that's a coat, food, spares, an inner tube. Can all go in there. So if you are somebody who doesn't like riding with a bag or things strapped to the frame like I have right here, it's going to be a godsend for you. So overall, I think the Pinion gearbox and belt drive system is the way forward in mountain biking. If you guys are interested in checking more about Zerode, I'll leave links in the description below. And I'll also leave a link there, a special discount link, where you can get 10% off any Zerode using my code in the UK or Europe. Use AlexRides10. Use that link at checkout. Go and grab yourself that sweet discount. Taking my leap to gearbox bikes for me has been the best decision I've made, because one, way cheaper in terms of price and maintenance, and I don't have to use as much time degreasing and doing all that stuff to it. Belts last a lot longer. It's a lot more peace of mind for me. The bike is literally silent on the trail. No bike rattling around or anything like that. And it just looks super neat and tidy. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of Pinion gearboxes. Any questions, I'll answer them. I'll see you in the next one.